The gavel crashed down, a thunderclap that silenced the packed courtroom in Seattle's King County Courthouse. It was March 15th, 2027, and Ethan Harper, once hailed as a tech genius, now sat with his head bowed, crushed by the weight of a staggering $962 million verdict. The jury had ruled against him, siding with 5 women: Lila Monroe, Sophia Bennett, Claire Evans, Mia Thompson, and Zoe Kim, who accused him of harassment, discrimination, and fostering a toxic workplace at his company, Nexus Innovations. The air was thick with tension as District Attorney Rachel Coleman faced the swarm of reporters, her voice cutting through the chaos. This verdict proves no one, no matter how rich or powerful, is above justice, she declared, her words sharp as steel. Behind her, the 5 women stood united, their expressions a mix of solemnity and triumph. Ethan's attorney, Michael Grant, leaned in, his hand steady on his client's shoulder. "We'll appeal, Ethan. This isn't the end." But Ethan barely registered the words, his gaze locked on his ex-wife, Julia, in the gallery. Her face was a mask of disappointment, a stark reminder of the respect he'd lost since their divorce 7 years ago. He'd always hoped to win it back, but now that dream seemed like dust. Judge Margaret Ellison was about to adjourn when the courtroom doors flew open with a bang. "Stop! They're lying." A small voice, sharp and fierce, sliced through the murmurs. Every head turned. There, clutching a green backpack, stood a girl with dark braids and eyes blazing with defiance: Sophie Harper, Ethan's 11-year-old daughter. "Young lady, this is a court of law," Judge Ellison began, her tone firm but curious. "I'm Sophie Harper, and those women are lying about my dad," the girl declared, marching forward, her sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. The 5 women exchanged uneasy glances. "Who's this kid?" Lila muttered under her breath. Rachel Coleman shot up. "Your Honor, this is absurd. She shouldn't be here." Julia stood, her voice trembling. "Sophie, you're supposed to be at school." But Sophie ignored her, locking eyes with Ethan. "I've got proof, Dad. I know you didn't do it." The courtroom erupted in whispers as Judge Ellison banged her gavel. "Order. Young lady, approach the bench." Sophie's steps were steady, her backpack clutched tight. Ethan felt a flicker of something he hadn't felt in months' hope. What could an 11-year-old have found that his entire legal team missed? 7 months earlier, Ethan Harper was living the dream in Seattle. At 54, he'd built Nexus Innovations from a cramped garage into a global giant, its holographic imaging tech transforming industries from healthcare to gaming. Forbes had dubbed him the architect of tomorrow. That June morning, he arrived at Nexus's sleek waterfront headquarters at 5:30 a.m., as usual. His assistant, Emily Carter, handed him his coffee. "The models for the fall campaign are coming at 10, she said. Ethan nodded, already lost in financial reports. Across town, Sophie was waking up in Julia's cozy Capitol Hill home, her room a mix of pop star posters and a whiteboard scribbled with coding equations. "Breakfast, Sophie," Julia called. Sophie grabbed her tablet, tweaking a program she'd been coding. Unlike most kids, she'd inherited Ethan's knack for tech, building apps while her peers played them. At Ethan's sprawling lakefront house, their weekends were sacred coding marathons, sci-fi flicks, and walks along Lake Washington. But that Friday, when Ethan picked her up, Sophie noticed his distraction. "Dad, what's wrong?" she asked. He forced a smile. "Just work, kiddo. Nothing to worry about." Later, in his home lab, he opened up. "Some of the models from our ads are saying I did inappropriate things." Sophie's eyes flashed. "That's ridiculous. You'd never do that." Ethan's smile was weary. "I know, and you know. Proving it to the world is the hard part." He didn't tell her the accusations had already cost Nexus 2 major deals, or that the board was debating his future. Across town, in a dimly lit Belltown lounge, Lila Monroe met with Sophia, Claire, Mia, and Zoe. At 33, Lila was the group's anchor, her voice cold as she laid out their plan. "Ethan Harper tossed me aside after 3 years as Nexus's face. Newer models, younger face, that's his game. He'll pay for treating us like trash." Sophia twisted her bracelet nervously. "Are we sure about this?" Faking harassment claims, Lila's eyes narrowed. "It's 5 of us against 1 tech bro. We're untouchable." Mia, the youngest at 23, hesitated. "But what if we get caught?" Lila smirked. We won't. My contact at a news outlet is ready for our exclusive story. Ethan's reputation will be ashes. Unbeknownst to them, Emily Carter, picking up takeout nearby, overheard fragments of their plot. She recorded bits on her phone but deleted them when Ethan dismissed her concerns, insisting they fight legally. As the accusations spread, Nexus's stock tanked, and Ethan was sidelined. The media storm hit Sophie Hard. Classmates whispered, parents stared. She began digging, scouring the model's social media. A photo of Mia wearing a unique pendant caught her eye, one identical to a necklace in Julia's jewelry box. Late one night, Sophie found it, engraved with, "For your fire, always M." Her mind raced. Were Julia and Mia connected? She found an email from Mia to Julia, sent just before the lawsuit. Jules, I know this is tough, but it's for the best. Ethan deserves this, and Sophie will be better off. Stick to the plan. No contact until we settle. Sophie's heart sank. Was her mom part of this? For weeks, Sophie built a truth web, linking the models through old photos and posts. She planted a recorder in Julia's office, capturing a damning call. This has gone too far, Mia, Julia said. The board's forcing him out. Mia's voice crackled back. Too late to quit. Lila's got this locked, and we'll win. Sophie's tears fell as she heard Julia's regret, but no denial of her role. Then, her facial recognition app flagged footage of Lila sneaking into Ethan's office during a Nexus gala. Sophie searched the office and found a hidden USB drive with unaltered photos, proof the evidence against Ethan was doctored. On verdict day, Sophie faked a fever, slipped out, and took an Uber to the courthouse. Bursting in, she halted proceedings. In Judge Ellison's chambers, she laid out her evidence, recordings, footage, the USB. Michael Grant compared the file's originals, showed innocent interactions, while the plaintiff's photos were manipulated. The courtroom buzzed as Judge Ellison ordered a stay and an investigation, led by forensic expert Dr. Lisa Nguyen. The story exploded. Ethan and Sophie hid in a Whidbey Island cabin as Julia faced public backlash for her role. Sophie dug deeper, suspecting Ethan's former CTO, Nathan Brooks, fired a year earlier over ethical disputes. Dr. Nguyen confirmed the photos were altered with AI, and bank records showed the models received offshore payments. At an emergency hearing, Zoe confessed, admitting Lila's revenge plot. Mia's brother, an attorney, turned over recordings implicating Nathan. Lila was arrested, and a warrant issued for Nathan, caught fleeing to Tokyo. Sophie confronted Julia. Why, Mom? Julia's voice broke. I was bitter after the divorce. Mia played on that, showed me fake photos. I thought I was protecting other women, but I was wrong. Sophie didn't forgive her yet, but saw her regret. Weeks later, at Nexus's gala, Ethan announced the Sophie Harper Foundation for Ethical Tech, with Sophie vowing to champion innovation with integrity. As snow fell outside, their family took tentative steps toward healing. But a cryptic email lingered in Sophie's mind, hinting at Project Sentinel, a shelved AI surveillance program Nathan had pushed. Sophie found files confirming Ethan had killed it for ethical reasons, but a secret version had run, spying on their family. Nathan's plea deal exposed his full plot revenge through the lawsuit and illegal data collection. Nexus issued patches and new privacy policies. Standing between her parents, Sophie felt hope. The truth had won, but questions lingered. Was Sentinel fully dismantled? Who else knew? Could Ethan's reforms rebuild trust? What do you think? Should Ethan sue for damages? Or is moving forward the best revenge? Did Julia deserve forgiveness? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories that uncover hidden truths.